U has been around for 52 years. It is a nonprofit organization. It's a national organization. There's a chapter, at least one or more chapters in all states, and we are composed of women who work for the federal government or retired, but also it's open to men or non-federal employees. And so it's a great organization. It's from women from all different federal agencies, and we just come together. We have different trainings, and we just network. We just learn about what go on in different agencies. The reason behind the fashion show, I worked at the VA. I worked for the federal government for 10 years, but the first 5 years I worked at the Veterans Administration. And working in that environment, I worked around a lot of military people and also just having those conversations with just the different backgrounds, different stories. And so I started to have a lot of friendships with the military women. And there was a lot of great stories and not so. I heard a lot of stories about how great the military was for them, the travel, and also the other stories of their. And so there wasn't just a real platform for them just to, share their stories and just to feel, just excited or just have their spotlight. And so I thought of the concept, let's have something where they can get dressed up, look beautiful, and the attention is on them. We wanted to focus our attention on our military women and also just to thank them for all that they've done for our country and everything that they've accomplished. And so when I pitched the idea to my chapter members, I didn't know how they were going to receive that idea, but they were on board. They were all for it. So I thank my chapter members for all. It was a group project.
It was definitely a process for me. As many of you may not know, last year was my first year ever really doing fashion shows. My first show was in April. It was the first time I ever sewed kimonos and stuff like that. So actually meeting with women that aren't your average model was a little intimidating for me because I've never worked with women that had not been models before. So I met with them on a Saturday morning, and when I met them, all their personalities matched something that was hanging on my rack that I had already made for, shows to come or whatnot. And so getting to sit down and talk with them, hear their story, and see them interact with each other actually made it easier for me to pick what I was going to have them wear. A few of them actually the day of didn't try anything on because I didn't bring the proper clothes with me that day. So the process for me was amazing. If I hadn't met them and just showed up on the day of the show, I would have been in trouble. So meeting them was everything, and it made everything come full circle for me. So I think the process was great.
3 weeks prior to the show, myself and Stephanie Hobbs, that was me, Stephanie, we meet with the ladies and we just have a variety of outfits, and we kind of pair the outfits with their looks, their body type. So that was a way for us to figure out what the models were going to wear. Now, Style Me Stephanie has all the bells and whistles. So I have the clothes and I know how to style, but she adds that extra flair with a pop of color, and the ladies really enjoyed that. So it gave them the confidence to walk out on the runway and just do their thing.
Well, actually, I just asked questions. I kind of ask them, what is their favorite color? What do you feel best in when you get dressed up? Do you prefer wearing a dress? Do you prefer wearing a skirt? Do you prefer wearing pants, jumpsuit, things like that nature? And they just kind of told me what they felt comfortable in. So once I got that feedback, we just kind of roll with it, what type of outfit to put them in.
Well, when the women came in, I, asked them a various of questions and just wanted to see what they liked. I let them walk through the entire store and kind of give me an idea of what they wanted to wear. And then we kind of just worked on it from there to accessorize, find the right shoes, things like that.
Actually, just when I was talking to the ladies, when we were getting dressed, some of them were easy, like they just started just sharing things, and some not so much. But like me, I'm a talker, I like to ask questions. But just them being military women, of course, they sacrificed a lot to serve our country. They had to be away from their spouses, their children, family members, and things of that nature. And when they're like away, wherever they may be stationed at, they don't get a chance to get glammed up and get dressed up and wear a dress and put on a pair of heels. So with this particular fashion show, they were really excited to get dressed up, to get glammed up, and to rip the runway. I mean, the ladies, when they finally got dressed up for the day of the show, I mean, their faces were just like glowing. They were smiling so hard. They were so excited. And they just stepped out there and did a wonderful job. It was really, I mean, I have to thank Faith for even putting me apart, being a part of this event, because I mean, it was just an honor just to watch them. I mean, they were like beaming, and it just made me so happy. I enjoyed it. I want to do it again.
I learned a lot actually, because like I said, I was nervous going in, didn't know what to expect. And I hate to even say it, but for like me, thinking about military women, I think, they're stern, they're hard, they finna put me in check. I gotta come here correct. But when I talk to them, like they are just normal women who want to look beautiful and feel beautiful like every other lady that walks down the street. And so talking with them, I learned the good, I learned the bad and the ugly of what they've dealt with. And a lot of them have been through a lot just serving in the military. Like they take their time, sacrifice everything to serve for us. And the treatment some of them receive is absolutely unnecessary and ridiculous. And it needs to be addressed, I feel, but I'm not going there. But I learned so much from them. And it was like maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes with them. And some of them linger because they just enjoy expressing, how they feel. One thing I walked away from the whole event was that they just want to feel loved and beautiful like everybody else does. And the fact that Faith takes time out to honor them and appreciate them is, it's paramount. They felt wonderful. I'll never forget, I'm gonna shut up. I'll never forget, while I was in the room before they got dressed, everybody else was getting dressed out. Stephanie was knocking them out. Tonia had them decked out, and I'm over here ironing. And I turned around and looked at my poor table. They were all just like, like, when is it our turn? So I was like, oh, well, get dressed. And the moment they got dressed, like it's like they just morphed into something completely different. Like they just strutted around the room, and that gave them a boost of confidence that they probably don't get on a regular basis. And so the whole experience was wonderful. I forgot the question. Let me shut up.
I think I've learned about the women is that they all come from different branches and different ranks within the military. When you think of a military woman, sometimes I think we forget that they are mothers, wives, and grandmothers. So to see them to be able to get glammed up for the day and look like such a doll is so rewarding to me. And also, I haven't been in the military, but to be able to use my brand to give back to the community, it makes me feel good. So it was a good experience, and I will be back.
Actually, just walking around with them and talking to them, they told me about their life, how they got started, where they were from, how many, we talked about family life, where their work life. We talked about all kinds of different stuff, just general conversation as they were getting dressed and things like that.
Uncle actually in the late 90s or in the mid 90s when I was young. And he was actually a part of the communications team. I believe he said it was Signal Corps. And he was there. I was really young. I don't remember much of it. I just remember him being away, and my mom was like low-key freaking out because her brother was away and she didn't know what was going on. He couldn't tell us where he was. But he came back, thank God, all in one piece. And I have a great uncle who served in Vietnam. And he came back and he shared with me a lot of the struggles he dealt with over there and the mishaps that took place and everything. So yes, I've had a few family members that served.
I have two uncles. One served in the Army and one was in the Marine. And I also had an aunt in the Coast Guard, but that was when I was younger. So they've all retired now.
Actually, yes. Actually, both of my brothers served in the military. My oldest brother, Christopher, he served in the Air Force, and my baby brother served in the Army. And they're both out of the service now, but they served several years.
And so I've had my brother, I have my two younger sisters, cousins, and so they all have served. And and they're from all different branches they serve.
Well, I would say probably just, my passion for wanting to help people and like really loving the fact that they love it as much as I do, because obviously I love fashion and clothes and things like that, and to see someone else when they get to do it and they love it as much as I do, it just really, it excites me.
I'm in the business of making women look good and feel good. So to get this opportunity to make the military women feel beautiful and for them to get dressed up, glammed up, and just strut their stuff on the runway, I mean, I was really honored, and it really warmed my heart to be a part of it.
Thing that I've learned and am still learning with my business, I'm such an introvert. I'm learning to open up and release, and to know that although we're all different, we're all serving the same purpose, is to help one another. So to not be so hard on myself and just let it flow. So I'm really working on that. And Stephanie has helped me tremendously, because I'm always behind the scenes. So to be called to the forefront, it was like, but to be there and to see those women glow, that made my day, because like Mandy said, I'm one that loves fashion as well. So I feel like a job was well done.
I learned about myself through this process that as a fashion designer, to not be afraid to step outside of your typical runway with your typical models. Let your fashion light shine on people that aren't always seen, because they too want to feel loved and beautiful and respected. And I also realized that in a sense, we all are healing agents, because you never know what the person is going through. They could be dealing with low self-esteem, a lack of confidence, things of that nature. And the piece that you chose to put on them could have boosted their confidence, make them feel like they can conquer the world. So you never know how much you're really helping people just by letting them feel beautiful and comfortable with themselves. So I took a lot away from this, and I can't wait to do it again.
It was a lot of work, but well worth it. What I've learned, as the women were sending me their bios, because we were getting the program booklets together, I stayed up one night and read all their bios, and I was just so impressed. And I looked at myself, I'm like, I have a ways to go, because they've accomplished so much. And also, they were empowering for me, because on the first year when we did the fashion show, we went in for the styling. I have two daughters, and I took them with me. I don't know if Stephanie and Tonya remember when I took my daughters with me. But as we left, my daughters, as soon as they got in the car, she said, Mom, those were military women? I said, yes, baby. She said, but they're so beautiful. So I didn't know her. I said, well, baby, a woman can serve in the military and, wear her combat boots and wear a pair of heels, So it was just so inspiring for my daughters to look up to these women and see, hey, if they can do it, I could do it. So it's so inspiring for me. Like I say, doing this is a lot of work, but so well worth it. And I so thank everyone Stephanie, like I said, I don't know, when you pitch an idea to someone, you don't know you're going to get told, no, I can't do it. Stephanie, thank you so much. Tonya, thank you. Tremaine, thank you. Mandy, thank you so much. To be honest, Mandy, I went to the mall on my lunch break one day, and I had flyers in my hand going around from store to store to see which store would help. No one called me back. I so happened to be in Versona one day shopping, and it just popped in my head. I said, who's your store manager? And so Mandy came out, and I asked her, I was just a regular woman off the street asking, and she was like, sure. It was an automatic yes. And Mandy, I thank you so much, because I want to give the women another option due to their work schedule, so they can come in anytime. And she was all for it. She had our flyers, advertised in the store. We were able to sell tickets in the store. Mandy, thank you so much. You didn't have to do it, but you did. It was a great team to work for. The women, oh my God, the military women appreciate everyone on the team. I received so much positive feedback. They were beautiful. They were awesome. They even told me they didn't want to take off their clothes. They were. But we will continue this. Like I said, it gives them that platform, a day that they can be recognized for all that they've done and that they continue to do. And like I say, sometimes I do get emotional. If you guys actually hear every story of what they've been through and what they are continuing to go through, they are still trying to, live that normal life after serving in the military. It's a struggle, but having this, it helps. You just don't know what you've done. It helps. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.